Okay, here we are for our March report. Rob, what are you doing with a bunch of hats? Okay, we are in a studio of a townhouse that we will be selling in the next 2 weeks. It'll hit the market. It's off market right now. It is the studio of Robb Keenan. He is a pretty well-renowned milliner from Harlem. His studio is here in the cellar at 202 West 122nd. And you'll see more about that property later. But we're in a studio. He took advantage of living in his home, making these beautiful hats for Brad Pitt and Justin Timberlake and all the other famous people. Me? No, I don't have one of his hats yet. Anyway, so this is a prime example of someone who took advantage of putting their office in within a townhouse. That's how I started. It's a great story, and more about that later. But let's get into the market. And what are we going to talk about? We always go over these graphs. We always go over these charts. And today we're going to talk a little more about, and we're leaning towards this on our monthly updates, what is actually happening and what's the pulse of the market. So I'll be talking about that, and then we'll hit the charts at the end. If you want to download these charts so that I don't have to sit here and talk about them all the time, go subscribe to our YouTube channel, click on the description link, and we're going to start putting them there so anyone can download them, because I don't like talking about them so much. So let's get into it today. We're going to talk about the 72 properties that are on the market. 72, well, there were 71 last month, and I specifically remember telling you that a lot more properties were getting ready to hit the market, and they would hit before April. I was right. There's one extra. No, I'm kidding. That is fact, but like a duck swimming on the water, it's smooth on top, but there's a lot going on underneath. What's going on underneath? Out of the 72 properties that are on the market now, that's one more than last month, but 12 are new listings. 7 of those 12 are real new listings. 5 of those are regurgitated and relisted properties. 11 of those properties left the market. What happened to them? 4 of those definitely went into contract. 7 of those were pulled off completely. 11 of the properties out of the 72 since last February have received additional discounts. 11 out of 72. So 11% or 10% of the properties are discounting since the other discounts that we talked about and that we will continue to talk about when I get to the charts later. All right, so let's move forward. Okay, hope you like the new hat. Out of the 12 properties that are new to the market out of the 72, we talked about 7 of those being brand new. So those 7, we actually have 40% of those. Harlem Lofts, out of all the properties, new listings, we have 3 of the 7. That is going to range from one on 130th Street, Astor Row, for $950,000, all the way up to one on Strivers Row for $3.5. The one on Strivers Row, my prediction is it'll sit there for a while. That one's priced pretty high per square foot for the competitors. The one on Astor Row at 130th Street, I called the broker earlier, haven't heard back, but that one we're going to look into. It looks to be an occupied SRO, so that's the reason for the low price. Now the ones in the middle, we've launched 3 of those. We have 213 West 139th. That is a absolutely gorgeous 2-family renovated cellar, the duplex apartment rental on the bottom and a triplex up above. Really nice. That one you want to check out. And that one's priced at $3,150. Then we also listed 2 stabilized properties, one on Strivers Row on 139th. Very competitive pricing on these. They're getting rid of they're reducing their portfolio at this time. That was 1.8, and then there's one at Edgecombe right at this subway stop, 30 Edgecombe, and that's 1.750. And both of those are 7-family stabilized with very good rents. 4.5 and 5.5 cap rates. So that's your new listings. Then there were some that were relisted. So out of the ones that were relisted, there are 5, and one of those is ours. So we have 20% of that market out of all of them. The one we relisted is 150 West 119th Street. My favorite block. I lived there for X amount of years, 14, and sold my townhouse across the street from this one for $4.150 in 2017. So $4,150,000. This one is priced now. We only had it on the market for a week. It was exactly a year ago. COVID hit and we took it off because some of the units are occupied. That one is now priced at $2,995, which also is about a 4.5 cap rate, I believe, and the rents are lower than market. So that one you want to check out. Another broker had it 2 years ago for I think $3.5 million. So we've got it priced right, ready to sell. So that's what you have on your new listings. Now I'll switch hats and we'll talk about what has sold. Okay, so new hat, new data. So this is the properties that went into market. There were 7. 6 of those were fair market trades. The other one we removed. One of those, so 15% of that, the property sold was ours. I'll talk about that one later. 117 West 131st sold. Now, here's what you need to know. These properties were discounted heavily. So that means one of two things. Either the market is showing deeper discounts than even we predicted, or those properties were way overpriced by the broker or the seller. So let's talk about them. 117 West 131st was listed at $2.75 million originally. It actually closed December 31st, but we have it on this report for 1.9. So that's, an $800,000 discount. So that's something to note. And if you dig into the details, and we can certainly tell you, was it overpriced or is the market showing deeper discounts? 417 West 148, that one sold for 2.2. It sold in one day. One of our competitors had it on the market. I spoke with him, and that one has some complications, and it was a deal that had fallen through, and another deal was in place. So it actually only hit the market for one day and was sold for 2.2. At that location, that's a very aggressive and low price, so there obviously were some complications there. The next one, 234 West 139th. Now that property, that was priced at 3.495, sold for 2.5. So that's $1 million discount. So is it overpriced or is it the market? We can get into those details if you want us to, or you can look them up yourself. The last one, 162 West 123rd. That was one of ours. We originally had that one at $2,095,000. It traded at $1,875,000. So we discounted ours as well, to be fair. And that was a $200,000 discount. Very complicated property. It was a smaller property. I think that was 15 foot wide and needed total rehab. But a nice location, decent property, and I think it sold at a fair market value. Well, one more. 322 West 140th sold. That was a two-family on the market for a while, sold for 2.1, but it was listed for 3,195. So you're seeing that $2 million discounts, one $800,000 discount, and ours was discounted $200,000. So that is what actually sold. I get a lot of questions about that, but just remember, each one of those that I listed is like that duck swimming on the water. There's a lot going on underneath that you need to know about before you just say, oh, someone discounted their property $1 million. Why did they do that? There's reasons. So we can talk to you about that. So let's move on to our next topic. Okay, so another new hat, another new topic. 15 are in contract right now. Added to that list, we have 4 new properties that were added to the list in contract. One on 123rd, 138th, 119th, and 140th, all between the 200 and 300 block. The 4 that we talked about that were removed from the in contract list, only one confirmed sold. That was 322 West 140th. It's recorded. There are 3 that were waiting on confirmation. It says they were sold, but they were in contract. Now they're off the market. We think they were sold. 107 West 117th. I actually know that one was sold. I know the buyer. Really nice property in need of a total renovation. 5 stories. It's probably going to be condos or very nice rentals. A huge property. That was a nice one. Compass had that one listed. 16 West 131st sold. Another nice block. I particularly like that one. It says it sold, but we haven't had a recording yet. And then 390 Audubon. Okay, that's the ones that we told you were in contract last month. Now they're removed from the market. Only one are confirmed closed. The other one we're still following. Okay, so that's what's sold. That's what's listed. We skipped our charts today. Let's go over a couple of the charts now, and then we will talk about condominiums. Thank you. All right, we'll keep it short, but we're going to hit the graphs real quick, and you can download these later. Townhouses, number on the market. Again, under 2 million, you're looking at 24-ish. The big jump here is the 2 to 3 million range. That's the most of the properties on the market, pushing 30. There's only 3 properties on the market over 4 million. The 3 to 4 million is in blue. Now, what's happening with those properties? The 4 million and up, staying on the market forever. This is 400 days. This is before COVID and still on the market. Those are in trouble. The lower price properties, especially below 2 million, they're receiving the discounts, which we'll talk about in a minute, but they're moving, they're rotating through. So that they stay on the market, 150 days is not bad right now during what we just went through, because there was, not much trading in the summer. And there's your 2 to 3 and your 3 to 4. Again, you can get these later. So here is just the trend. It's still color coded. It's hard to see maybe, but if you download this, you can see all of the categories have moved up. And this is your percentage with this offering discounts. And then we'll talk about how much they discounted them. So all your properties, up to 70% have offered discounts, the ones that are currently on the market. How much were those discounts? And the actual percentages of the discounts being offered. If you're above 4 million, you're averaging 20% discount. 3 to 4 million, 12%. 2 to 3 million, only 8.4, so 8.5%. And then under 2 million has gone to 14%. So the properties under 2 million are the ones moving, and they're discounting 15%, which is, it's a lot of money for a price for a property under $2 million to discount 15%. And that's gone up since the last report. So to summarize where we started, 72 properties on the market right now. You saw that 12 new listings hit the market, 7 were brand new, 5 were relisted. 11 properties left the market, 4 went into contract, 7 we're looking into to see what happened to them. They're off the market completely. And 11 of those 72 received new discounts since February 3rd on our last report. So the discounts are happening. We talked about those details. Those charts are available on our website or YouTube. Go to our YouTube site and you can click on the bar and figure out how to download them. Bottom line, so where are we right now? The properties that are priced right are selling. If they're not priced right, they have issued discounts in place and then they're going into contract. The ones that are overpriced are not moving. They've been on the market 400 days, and either the sellers need to wake up to the new reality that they priced them with 2020 pricing in last January, or just take them off the market and see what happens. We do see the market returning. The inventory is there, the discounts are there, and the activity is there. So that duck is swimming underneath. There's a lot going on. Please download our charts on the townhouse market. If you need more detail, give us a ring. And we'll talk about condos real quick in just a second and close out. Okay, condominiums, real quick. Condominiums are much easier than the townhouses because there's not so much detail we have to dig in. But if you remember this chart, this is the one you want to note. Back in, I think it was October, we were up to 460, I think, listings, which is more than I've ever seen in the condo market in Upper Manhattan, at least. You notice this trend going down. Where townhouses, we're telling you more properties are going to hit the market. There were so many condos on the market because that's a longer selling process and it's more organized. You have the AG approval and so forth. So if you're going to list a property and you have 50 units in it and COVID hits, you kind of still list it because it's more of a flow. It's not like a townhouse where you can, tell your family, stay in school for another 2 years and we'll sell in 2 years. Condos are more of a business. So what happened, the condo inventory you see dropping. Now, why is it dropping? They're actually selling. So the condo market, the prices are the same as they were in 2019, as we talked about last month, but they're actually selling. We've had 27 close and record since January. So that's recorded sales. There's some lagging behind that. So the condo market, things are moving, things are going to contract. Your inventory on the condo market will come down where your inventory for those reasons, the inventory on the townhouse market, as I said, will go up unless they start selling as fast as they can list it. Hey, that would be a nice thing. Let's see what happens. Anyway, that's it for the condos. Let's close out. Okay, so not to bore you with any closeout details, just watch the video, look at the links that pop up, and stick to our YouTube channel because that's where you can download all the charts and everything going forward. So this is our March report, 2021. The townhouse market is active, condo market is active, we're active. We're in the studio of Robb Keenan's studio here. He is a hat milliner. And he's moving to England, and we are selling his house, and this one will be listed next week. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, Robb Pear, Harlem Lofts. Bye-bye.